I am the captain now. What is happening, everyone? Hello, good morning, happy Monday. Hope you're doing well. Man, this coffee cup, it looks like poo. I'm just seeing now. Looks like a dirty toilet bowl, man. Hello. Today, no streaming video games. Did that on Friday. I'm still addicted to Marvel Rivals. I don't know. I'm kind of going over where I lean with that. One thing I do want to say off the rip, I don't think I'm going to be live streaming on YouTube anymore. One, I can't play, like, their restrictions are super stringent. The chances of copyright strikes are super big, like on sharing because of sharing content and stuff. So it just doesn't seem too worth it to me. I'll definitely like post clips on there from the live streams, but all the live streams are going to be happening on Twitch. I can also get away with playing some actual music on Twitch due to the VOD channel. So if you're listening live, it'll be like a real FM radio show, which, you know, aligns more with what my goal was for this show, and to make it more exciting and everything like that. I don't know if like music makes it more exciting, and then I just find the quality looks better on YouTube or on Twitch, and trying to multi-stream and get the bit rate right between the two is very annoying. I have a program that allows you to pick two different bit rates, and it just never works, and I'm always getting an error. It's one or the other. Either it's not high enough for YouTube, or it's not high enough for YouTube, or it's too high for Twitch. So it's like, okay, whatever. I'm not really too worried about it. So I'd rather just focus on one thing and just do that. In terms of streaming video games, that's one thing I want to talk about. I am still super addicted to Marvel Rivals. Played all weekend. It's torturous. It's tough. I'll actually show you guys. I found a comment under Tim the Tatman's stream last night that perfectly describes the matchmaking thing and doing competitive right now. So this person wrote that I swear solo queue ranked is an absolute mess. It's like three games win with God team stomping bots, followed by 6 games lose with bot team versus good team versus God team. Where's the balance in matchmaking? There's got to be some kind of stupid shit going on. It is impossible to win the game in the lobby, in the bot lobby, especially as a tank or a healer, but even DPS. I didn't get this season 0. I just grinded and kept moving up in the ranks. Close games are hard fought games, fun games all the way up to plat. The season reset, and now games are absolute trash. Mess of games where teams go 30-0, 35-1, 20-1, 15-0, 15-2 versus 0-50. Yeah, I understand, and like this is my experience as well. I'm encountering, so I'll get like, and Charlie doesn't like this, but he might call me, by the way. Just a little caveat. He might interrupt here, but I'll be playing and I start every match off. He doesn't like this, but I'll like get in there. I'll be like, "What's happening, everyone? Like, I'm ready to get the fuck out of silver. I hope you are too. Like, let's hit it. Let's get it." And just to see who has a microphone and just be like, "Yo, let's fucking destroy them," or say something in order to get them motivated. And And, you know, not everyone will talk on their microphone, but I'll get people that will write in the chat like W, like let's get it or let's go or whatever, right? And I can tell when I'm in like super bot lobbies because no one will say anything at all. It's so weird. It's almost dystopian. And I even said one game because it got to the point I'm like, are these real people or are these just bots? Because I know people have found bots in quick play. And so I said, type W in the chat, just so I know you're not a bot. And luckily one person responded out of my 5 other teammates. So, I mean, to be fair, he was playing in a group, the guy. So there's like 3 of them that were together and one of them commented W. So that's, I mean, that's not too bad, but it's good to know. However, that person commented, someone commented under it, the problem here is your failure to understand how ranked matchmaking works. You're in the funnel grind. It's the beginning of the season. Have patience and wait for better players to go up or get better and join them. And this person who initially made the comment about like the games being trash said that shouldn't have anything to do with it. The matchmaking shouldn't create these totally one-sided games regardless of the funnel. If it is pre-made 6 squads, then they should be putting them against solo 6s, and likewise. The GM players shouldn't be all stacked on one side versus the hard stuck silvers regardless. Not to mention this going on at low levels too, where top players aren't even at because they have already cleared it. Reset was 7 levels, making the game fair games. It's not free pass to make them shockingly bad for weeks whilst we wait for things to even out. 12 people queue, 6 silver, 2 3 silver, 2 6 2 silver 2s, 3 silver 1s, blah blah blah, whatever. Solo should be a thing. Secondly, at this point, it should all be. I agree though. It's a little long-winded. I'm not going to read that whole thing. I absolutely agree though. It should definitely be. I feel like the matchmaking is not evenly divided, and it really is. It's so one-sided. It's either your team is just super bot, and they're not. When I say bot, I mean like they're very new to the game, or you know, they're kind of walking around aimlessly. They're not very good. Like they don't necessarily feel comfortable in a role in the game. And it's very tough to coordinate them because a lot of them aren't talking on the microphone, or they're not trying to coordinate in any sense, which it's a very team-based game. You have to work together. So if there's no coordination, you're just going to fall apart, especially when you're and that's the problem, right? Is we're talking about an entire team of uncoordinated people. There might be like one person coordinating, which I'm going to put myself as that label because I'm on the microphone, I'm talking, no one else is. And then the other team is just working insanely well. Like we're talking an astounding difference where they're cohesive, they're working together. You're seeing them, you know, all play their roles well. And it's like, how is this matchmaking so one-sided to the point that it's almost an insult? So that's kind of where I'm at. That's kind of where I'm at right now with Marvel Rivals. It's frustrating in that matchmaking sense because it's gotten to the point where I was solo queuing and I did hit like a good streak. I got like, I want to say like a 5. I think I did 8 in a row, 8 wins in a row I got. And 2 of them were with Charlie on the tail end. And Charlie was feeling all bad and everything like that, which I can understand. And he understands. He's a good friend. He's like, I get it if you don't want to play with me, because I was doing so well on solo queuing where it was just hot. Like I was on this win streak and I kept getting good teammates who were active in the chat. And then the second you hit like that bad slope, you're stuck with just really, it's so weird how it works, man. It's almost like they don't want you to be too good and like elevating too much. So they put you with the bums. I can appreciate and understand what this person is saying about the funnel. And like that, you know, and the problem is the game's popularity. You have people, a lot of people I've been playing with, like they just downloaded the game like a day ago. Whereas I've been on like since it, like I think I downloaded a week after it came out, where you have people now who are kind of like, oh, wow, this game is amazing. I'm getting off COD. I'm going to play this game, or everyone's playing this game. I have to download, you know, those friends who kind of finally decide to download it. So You have a lot of new faces kind of hopping on, and people still learning the game, and they're jumping into ranked. And I think en masse, you're if you're in a lower rank, you're just encountering a lot of new players who don't really know the game, and maybe they never played Overwatch. If you played Overwatch, you definitely have an advantage, like to know the game, like how the game is played and what you should be doing. But if you're coming, if you're like a big COD head and like all you've been playing is COD, and now you're coming over to this game, you're not you're not going to necessarily perform well, because you need to kind of have an idea of like a team-based objective game like this. So one thing I wanted to talk about with seeing as I got into Rivals is, sorry, I'm double fisting drinks. It's just what I like to do. So seeing as we're talking about Marvel Rivals, I streamed on Friday. I'm still thinking about if I'm gonna start streaming video games as well, like what I want to produce and everything like that. There was a part of me on Friday during the stream where I said to myself, you know what, I don't know if I enjoy this. I didn't feel very engaged with like talking to the camera. I like just kind of, I'm a yapper by trade, so I kind of just like being on the microphone talking about what I want to talk about. And like, that's a show. It's kind of like, here's what my stream is. I'm talking, I'm doing all these things. And then video games is a separate thing. Another thing that kind of stuck out to me is the quality went down, which I don't want to do. I tried not to dumb down the quality too much. I had put down the video game, but the problem is that I got rid of I had a second PC because I had built a new one in October. So I had my old one, which was still pretty good. Unfortunately, I got rid of it. So I'm trying to I'm trying to run the stream and play the video game on one computer. And my computer is amazing, but it's not good. I mean, like, that's hard on any computer, in order to run that. And even dumbing it down to 1080p 60, the stream wasn't terrible, but obviously when there were high points in the game, like very busy battles and everything like that, you can see it on the stream, the camera quality goes down because the processing of that is secondary to the video game. So that's one thing I've been thinking about and what I want to do. And I don't know, it could be fun. I think I'm definitely going to give it another chance. I don't think I'm just going to kibosh it just like that, but I definitely notice, like, I like interacting. I like having kind of a talk show type vibe as opposed to just being a game streamer. I think there's a place for both. I don't think I need to just say, no, I'm not going to do that. But I've been thinking about how I'm going to do that and expensing the money in order to do that. And it's kind of like, I'm not really in a position to do that right now, because I would want the quality to stay up. So I was kind of considering maybe buying a Mac Mini, the M4 Mac Mini, in order to just have that as the streaming computer and then output everything from this one. That could work. That's something I'm thinking about because it's relatively cheap. Apparently, like, they're amazing. Like, the specs have all been good. So I think if I go that route, I'm definitely going to go that way. And yeah, but it's all a tester, right? Like, that's the problem. I'll have to get the Stream Deck, or not Stream Deck, whatever, the capture, the Elgato plugin capture thing. I'll have to buy that. I'll have to buy the Mac Mini. So it's a little bit pricey. It's probably, like upwards of $1,500 in terms of expenses. So it's something I kind of got to think about. But there's a part of me that I wouldn't be thinking about that if I didn't want to do the game stream, and I do kind of want to do that. So yeah, we'll see how that works out. I don't know, man. Let me know, like, in the comments or anything like that, if you liked the game stream. I know, hold on. I did miss a call. Hold up. I'm just going to call this guy back real quick. He's probably in a game. Hello, Charles.
Hey, man.
What's going on? You're on the stream right now, just so you know.
Yeah, I figured you would do that to me.
Why?
Guys, what do you want? What's up?
Nothing, man. I'm talking about Rivals, so I figured, like, why not call you? Also, I missed your call because I have streamer mode enabled on Discord, so it didn't make a sound. It didn't make a sound when you called. It does that automatically.
So fucking fancy.
It does it automatically when it knows when OBS is open. How cool.
Very neat.
Yeah, no, I was just talking about the whole Rivals thing, and I was talking about the comment that I sent you last night from Tim's video and the matchmaking and everything like that.
Yeah, it's just a fresh game, right? It happened in Overwatch too.
Yeah. Well, one of the guys commented on that comment on the comment I did send you. Someone commented on that and said the problem here is your failure to understand how ranked matchmaking works. You're in the funnel grind. It's the beginning of the season. Have patience and wait for better players to go up or get better and join them.
Yeah.
But I feel like the game is super one-sided.
Well, that's a team-based game, man. It's not like if one person
Yeah, but how is it? No, like even you have to have noticed that like
we just force the team to surrender.
One team's like a bot team, and then the other team is like so coordinated.
Yeah,
I feel like it.
I don't know, man. That's a team game, dude. If one person fails,
we all
it's
fail.
a rule.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
One person fucking fails, it's a roll.
Nice.
That's how it works, right?
Did you win your game?
We forced the enemy team to surrender.
Really?
Yeah.
A successful surrender. I don't think I've ever seen it.
It's pretty nuts.
Nice, man. I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
So
our match was OP.
Yeah.
Patrick just destroying their whole team. This is one of those characters I gotta get good at, man. Honestly.
Yeah, I've tried her out. She's not bad. Anyway, so are you down to play in a bit?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, I'll keep talking about what I'm talking and yapping, and then I'll hit you up. I'm debating what I was talking about on stream before I called you is I'm debating if I want to keep doing the game streaming, but trying to run it all on one computer, even though my computer is great, it's a bit of a bitch. So I was thinking about getting a Mac Mini, the M4. Have you seen those at all?
I thought that you already had one.
No.
I thought you already had like a Mac.
I have a MacBook. I have like a MacBook Pro, but it's the M1. I can't run the stream off of that. So
really?
No. Oh no.
Oh
no. Like don't you fucking foolish you foolish bastard thinking that.
We have 3 tanks.
No, the M4 just came out and it's like super small and it's supposed to be amazing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a little powerhouse, but the base model is only $700.
This guy says only. Yeah, dude, let me just get my $700.
Yeah, but I figure I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It's your best shot.
It's my best shot?
Yeah.
You think I should just stream the games then? You not be just a yapper?
You yap too much anyways.
So you're saying less yap, more game?
Yeah.
Well, if I game more, like that means like you gotta tone down your language because you'll be a part of the stream then.
Yeah, I know. I said and not a great word one time.
No, dude,
acting like I got my fucking
I'm wheezing
out.
Dude.
Like, brother, relax.
Bro, It's so fucking funny because like I watched it back. You're fucking laying down the R word throughout every match, and it's okay. Like it's fine. Like it is what it.
I just got to be better as a person.
It is what it. It was just funny because like you were so mad, and you're just like fucking like it's fucking that, and it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah, it's like
I got to just be better.
nah, it's all no. It's all good, man. Like it's unfortunate, like it's just where we've gone as a, you know what I mean? Like you have people like what is it like Destiny, where he's like, oh, you should be able to say these words or whatever. So
Yeah, you're allowed to say it at your house. Just don't say it.
yeah, yeah, but that doesn't
It's
make
like it
you.
reminds me of that one interview where the guy's like, crackers just as bad as the N word, and the one guy, like, I forget what interview it is, but the one guy's just like he looks at him. He's a big black guy, right? And he's like he looks at him, and he's like, "Say it." Well, I don't want to say it. It's just I'm just saying. And he's like this huge black guy. Just say the word.
Yeah,
I want you to say it. And
So-
it's like it's so uncomfortable, and it's the absolute truth, though. It's like,
yeah,
yeah, one word you're not gonna say.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, one word, like, dude, that word holds so much fucking power, like a derogatory power. It's
Yeah.
fucked, you know.
You know what I
But
learned today too? You know that cloak power up I get from Moon Knight?
yeah,
It stops alts from targeting me.
no way.
Yeah.
Oh,
What's his name can't hit me. Star Lord can't hit me if I'm in it.
dude, that's sick.
Yeah.
I love that. Um, man, it's funny you say that because I was thinking about you earlier. Uh, but I was
Yeah.
thinking I like how bad I want to see you do your Magneto alt and like just nerf a Star-Lord alt.
Yeah. I can eat it. It's just like it destroys like if I absorb too much, it destroys my hand and fucking nukes my health, dude. And it's like, oh,
Right.
it's like especially Punisher. Punisher's like instant. I have to throw it instantly. If he's ulting, there's too many projectiles, brother.
Yeah. No, man, I get it. And like it's funny, like, cause you were like, yeah, see how that cooldown? See that? Like that's me reloading my hands. So I didn't understand that.
Yeah,
Man,
dude.
talking
I
about sorry, go on.
Magneto needs to not reload. Like it's ridiculous.
It should be a little bit quicker, no? Maybe. There's certain things that
Bigger
they need to
clip or
change.
something. Well, because if I shoot my little thingy, that counts as part of my clip. So I'm like reloading my hands, throw a shot, I have to reload my hands again.
Yeah.
My hands.
You know who I want to get good at is Mr.
Uh,
Fantastic.
yeah, that's
Um
how you walk around life, dude.
what?
That's how you walk around life. Look at this
Yeah,
puffed out chest, brother.
puffed up chest. Yeah, exactly, bro. I'm rubber, your glue, everything you say to
Yeah,
me sticks
yeah.
to you, or whatever.
It's a
You know.
miracle you get through the day. You know that?
Yeah, yeah, it is. But I have you to get me through it partly. So, man, talking about it, I'm just like itching to play. Like it's
Oh.
fun. Like, do you think about it a lot? Because I think about the game a lot.
Not too bad, but not too bad. But yeah, you do just. I was watching stuff about Magneto and like you know what I mean, but
Yeah. No,
not
I
too
get.
bad. Like one of the top 500 guys are Moon Knight, and he literally only plays Moon Knight. So I learned a little bit of
Mm,
him. You know what I mean?
yeah. I think about the game a lot, and like all I want to do is just game it. I think that's just it. Like that's why I'm like, oh, would I do streaming? It's like, well, yeah, because you're currently addicted to a game, but what about when you're not?
Yeah,
So
we'll figure it out.
yeah. All right, bro. I'll hit you up in a little bit then.
Okay.
All right, goodbye.
Bye, man.
That was Charles, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so back to me and my life. No. So this past weekend, it was my 33rd birthday on January 11th. And yeah, I didn't do a whole lot. Just grabbed breakfast with Charles there. It was good. I paid for everything. It's because his birthday's on the 9th. So I didn't do anything for him on his birthday. I just felt like, hey, you know what? I'd rather do something nice for someone on my birthday. So did that. And other than that, dude, I just played Rivals. That's all I wanted to do. I've kind of ceased drinking alcohol. I've been drinking a lot. Like I was trying to remember this morning actually when was the last time I even had a sip of alcohol? When did I drink? And that was probably early November when I first moved into my place and Charlie came over and we bought a 6-pack and I had one of them. So pretty like it was kind of crazy to think about how long it's been since I just have no desire. I mean, right now I'm trying to obviously lose weight and alcohol is super counterintuitive to that. And just in general, like for my birthday, I don't need to go out and like have those kind of nights and wake up hungover or anything like that. And it's just like I have no desire to drink. So why would I go to a bar? And I guess you could kind of argue, oh, like you go out, you have a beer, you just, you don't have to get drunk. And like that's fair, but I don't even the problem is one thing when I have been drinking and say like I just have a casual drink, like a beer or two, and like 2 hours after, if that, it's like burning its way out of my system or whatever, and I get the worst headache. It sucks. It's so bad. Probably because I drink like no water. But yeah, I digress. It's just not something I wanted to do. So played Marvels all day, was just chilling. Didn't see too many. I only saw Charlie. He was the only one I saw on my birthday. That's all he wanted to do on his birthday was just game. So I gamed with him on the 9th. And then my big plan for the day was just to hang out with Chip and just get sushi. That was my big thing. So played Rivals all day, then did a kettlebell workout at home here, ordered the sushi, chilled with Chip, watched the movie Hitman with Glenn Powell, Hitman 2024, the Netflix movie. It was fucking great. I really enjoyed it. I thought Glenn Powell was fantastic in it. Watching his range and do all the different characters when he's that he does in the movie is hilarious. I had a lot of good laughs doing that. And I think her name is Adria Arona. She's Puerto Rican. Oh, she's so hot. Adria Arona. She is so fucking hot. Oh my god. She is she's the woman. Oh, you can't see it because I'm in the way. Hold on. So hot. She's so hot. I can't stop saying it, but she was also really great in the movie. I loved like their chemistry together, and I thought like they did so good. There's like one scene where he's kind of holding up the phone and they're doing a dialogue where she has to, because he's wearing a wire, and it's really funny. It's like it's great acting on like both their part. Like I don't know, I just like I love how the scene went. It was really great. So but one thing that like was kind of interesting, like watching that on my birthday about that movie, is I love the concept. So the concept of it is he's not actually a hitman. Okay, spoiler alert. He's not actually, if you haven't seen it, it's kind of old at this point. I think it's about like a year old, close to it. So he's not actually a hitman. He actually works undercover for the police and disguises himself as a hitman in order to catch people who are looking to hire a hitman and then arrest them. Okay, so he just does sting operation, but he dresses up like different he like really plays into the role where he's doing like, it's not part of the job description, but he'll like dress up as the hitman based on what he thinks this person's perception of the hitman should be. And I and the idea of it is because he meets like this super super hot girl, and she, you know, she's in this terrible relationship. She wants to get out of it. She's like looking to kill her husband. So he disguises himself as Ron, who's like kind of the more suave version of him. And like, dude, like Glenn Powell, like I can't, like, I gotta have sex scenes with this chick and Sydney Sweeney in the same year. Good for you, man. Good for you. Good for you. So, but like this character Ron is just like, I don't know. He's just this fucking badass. I don't know. Super sick. He's just like this, like, you know, a little bit button shirt, chest hair, like the call it like the chill sunglasses. It's fucking sick, man. I would fuck Ron. This is what I'm getting at right now. But the idea of the personification about how you want to portray yourself and sorry, Chippy's dreaming behind me. It freaked me out. I was like, I heard like, I was like, is there a ghost in the room? So the concept of personification about how to portray yourself and how you can literally be anyone, because so he falls in a relationship with this girl, but she knows him as Ron, the hitman. So he just leans into that role, but it's really just a different personification of him. So the idea at the end of the movie is he finds a balance between Ron and himself, because obviously his identity gets revealed as Gary, who's kind of like this nerdy, keep to himself type guy, who's a little bit weird, and he kind of combines the two. And it like made me start thinking at the age of 33, and I know this isn't like a crazy notion by any means, but it was just crazy. Like the possibilities are limitless of like who you could be and who you want to be. How do you want to define yourself? You could be, how do you want to dress? How do you want to look? You can change that. And I don't know, like just, it's crazy like how easily you can change the perception of yourself to the world in any which way. And obviously online, like we see a lot of facades, and there's a lot of people who are fake and being something they're not. And like, it's kind of that, but in reality, you could do that in any sense, right? Like how you present yourself. And I don't know. I found that very interesting. And entering my 33rd year, and I'm watching this movie, and it's like, who do you want to be? Like, who do I want to be? And how do I want myself to be perceived? Like, do I want to be like this super suave guy? Is that who I am? And now, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying like, you know, don't love yourself and who you are. Absolutely love who you are. Okay. But there's certain things that if you do a little, introspective. Like, I always, whenever I bring up this word, I always mess it up. When you do a little bit of self-reflection, let's just say that you do a little bit of, no, that's not even a right word. Introspection. Don't listen to me. You do a little bit of self-reflection and you say, hey, like, these are the things that I would like to change about myself. You could absolutely do that. You have so much power to do that. And I know like that sounds like a very easy thing to say, but then I started thinking a little deeper about it when you start to get into denialism, which is, a protective psychological, it's a protective psychological defense mechanism. There we go. I got it out. So if you don't know what denialism is, in psychology of human behavior, denialism is a person's choice to deny reality as a way to avoid believing in a psychological uncomfortable truth. And I think and I've been thinking about this a lot, and just from what I view of people's lives and certain things, especially as you get older, you start to see like the certain things that people kind of accept, and they don't really they're just in denial of it. They're in denial of a lot of things in their life, and they just accept it. And there's a lot of self-sacrificing. There's a lot of denial and self-denial when it comes to that. And denialism, in the sciences, denialism is the rejection of the basic facts and concepts that are undisputed, well-supported parts of the scientific consensus on a subject in favor of ideas that are radical, controversial, or fabricated. Um, Obviously, this can be like very grand in some terms, like people denying the Holocaust, AIDS denialism, climate change, you name it. We're talking about like self denialism. We're talking about just not about denying certain things that are happening in your life. So that's why I say about self reflection. You need to take a look at yourself and like, what are some things that I actually should change and maybe I shouldn't accept, things that I do that are maybe not so great, that are an uncomfortable truth that I am not accepting. And you know what, at the age of 33, I think there's a lot of things that I've talked about, some of them on this show, and that is being disorganized. That's one thing I really want to change. Like when you talk about being organized allows you to, you know, keep a clean place and be more presentable, right? Like right now, like see how my beard is like grown out? Like I really need to get into the habit of grooming and like taking care of myself, because like that's the perception. Like I would like to that's one thing I would like to change about myself. I would like to be a little bit more suave, a little bit more sophisticated, and there was a time in my life where I was very like that in my 20s, where I was you know, if I would go out somewhere, like it was like dressed up, like dressing nicely, and very caring about appearance. And then like you get older and sometimes, or maybe you get in a relationship and you start to feel a lot more like you get comfortable, right? Because especially when you're single, caring about those things is super big, especially when you're trying to obviously like attract someone of the opposite sex or whatever have you. If you're trying to attract a partner, um, you're obviously going to really take care of your image. And I think along the way, I got very lazy at that, and that's a very uncomfortable truth for me to face. But it's the truth nonetheless. Is that I need to put in more effort, absolutely, on myself, on my day-to-day activities, on my life. And oh, hello, what's up, Let's Dance? How's it going? So that's definitely something I'm looking to kind of change going forward and to accept, right? And I think when you also think about like denialism and, you know, like not doing a proper self-reflection as well, is that there's like a limited thinking that like comes to it as well, right? That might happen over time. Is like if you're living this life and you're denying yourself, you start thinking like very limited, and that's like a place where I was kind of at as well, and I'm still kind of there in a sense. And like I think that's why this concept of you could be whoever you want to be, or be perceived how you want to be perceived, is because you start thinking very limited, where I'm not good enough, I can't achieve that. Oh, I could never be that. I could never be a suave, sophisticated person. It's like you absolutely can. You have it's crazy like how much power you have over like these things. It's just you can very much get in this rut where you feel like you're kind of trapped, right? And you don't need to be. There's Because it's all about taking action, right? And it's all about the first steps is definitely identifying these things, and kind of facing those uncomfortable truths that we talked about, where denialism can come into place, and then grow, and then taking active steps in order to achieve change in those avenues of your life. And I think that's the most important. Let's Dance, thank you so much for commenting, I really appreciate it. um yeah, so I think as far as self-limiting behavior goes, it comes into play when you, again, that comfortability I was talking about. You get comfortable in a certain thing, you might start to think a little bit like less of yourself maybe over time, and that's not the case. I was just looking at the camera. I have Chip's bed set up here so people can see my dog. He instead lies on the floor beside me, which is great. So let's look up a little bit of self-limiting behavior. Self-limiting behaviors are negative thought patterns and actions that can prevent you from reaching your potential. See, that's just it, right? And this is kind of what I'm talking about, is that perception that you want, like, that you want to be, like that personification that you want to achieve and how you want to present yourself is you reaching your potential. Because sometimes it's a little bit buried down. Unhelpful beliefs. These can include thinking you're not good enough. These are self-limiting behaviors. And we're trying to curb that in 2025. We're going to be, okay, this is what we're getting into. These can include thinking you're not good enough or that you don't have enough time. They can keep you stuck in a negative mindset and prevent you from seeing new opportunities. Fear of failure. This can paralyze you, prevent you from pursuing your goals. Resisting change. Successful people are willing to adapt and embrace change. Yeah, so one thing that I had a problem with, like, throughout my life is change. I was until I went to therapy, I didn't fully heal that part of myself, and I didn't grow in terms of that. But change always deeply affected me. Relationships ending, anything that would kind of mess up my day-to-day schedule would really throw a wrench at me. I'd like get really angry or very flustered or frustrated, and like that would kind of all just turn into anger. And that's not very attractive. That's not a very good way to like handle certain things. So you need to be adaptable. You need to be open to change, especially, right? And then comparing yourself to others. You might needlessly compare yourself to others or undervalue your own work. Another thing I'm very guilty of is doing that. So I undervalue a lot of my work, especially like when it comes to this podcast and video making. And that, that's a fault of my own. No one else. It's not necessarily I guess it's kind of subconsciously comparing myself to others, where it's like, why do people, but it's more like saying, why would anyone care what I have to say? Oh, I'm not that good at that. Oh, I'm not very concisive. I'm not very good at thinking about. So maybe I'm not that intelligent, or you name it. There's different thoughts that run through my brain where I undervalue what I do, what I have to offer, and it's a terrible thing that I've kind of broke through it. You kind of just have to understand that no one really cares. At the end of the day, a good example is, I mean, this is a good example to stream because like right now, like people tune into it out. No one's really watching. I can just say what I want, do what I want. And it really ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. Another example is my ex-girlfriend. Whenever we would go to the gym, or when she would need to go solo or something, when she was trying to get into a gym routine, and I understand this from like a woman, especially, like men are very gawking, and there's a lot of creepy dudes who just don't get, like, women are just there to work out and do their thing. They don't want you fucking staring at. Some women like the attention, some don't. I feel like it's probably just the best route to just treat them like any other fucking human being and not gawk at them. I mean, you should want to make all human beings around you feel comfortable, but this is a whole other fucking conversation. However, she was like really worried about making herself look like an idiot at the gym for not knowing what she's doing. And I said to her, I was like, a lot of people, I was like, I'll be honest, no one cares. No one cares what you're doing at the gym. Like, you're there trying to like work out and like do your best. No one cares. And like, you're not going to mess unless like you hurt yourself or something like that. But no one, like, the chances of you messing up like so badly are very slim, to the point where anyone would even notice. And like, I just told her, like, look up a video and like check that out, and then kind of go from there. And someone might give you a pointer. Like, that's about it. And even then, like, as a woman, like, they're mostly giving you a pointer so they could probably like get in to talk to you. Or maybe it's because they care. I don't know. But like that's one thing where I learned early on when I was going to the gym, like you could do the dumbest stuff, no one cares. You could be like, that's why people film people at the gym like doing dumb stuff. They do like they film them like doing it, but like at the end of the day, like they're not gonna go up and say, hey, like don't do that or whatever, or like maybe you should do this. Some people might, but for the most part, people don't really care. They care to pull out their phone and like film you, but that's about it. They don't, doesn't really matter. So compare yourself to others was that one. Self-sabotaging behavior. You might behave in ways that are contrary to who you really are. And I would say that is like, you know, the denialism behavior as well. Some ways to overcome self-limiting behavior can include identifying your limits, identifying your limiting beliefs, which is what we were talking about. Self-reflection. You know, see what your faults are or what you're not doing or what you're neglecting, and start with the largest one and work your way down. Reframing your beliefs, consciously change how you think about yourself. Easier said than done for some people. Positive self-talk, practice self-compassion and surround yourself with positive influences. Obviously, like that's a huge thing. One thing about my goals in 2025 was I didn't really want to include a lot of people who make excuses in my life. Just in general, I don't want to hear the excuses. I don't want to be around people who make excuses because I don't want that to influence. Not that it has to, and I'm pretty good at like separating that, but as far as limited thinking and just making constant excuses for certain, like I have no time for it, and I don't want to be around it, and I don't want it to be an accept, because the problem is when you have people in your life that make excuses constantly, you accept you like, and this is me traditionally, this is what I found, you accept that behavior, so it becomes acceptable like for you to also make excuses, and I don't want any fucking part of that. So I'm not gonna, so no thank you, I'm good. None of that. But so successful people, the 8 self-limiting behaviors they avoid. This is by Forbes. I guess we could read about this. I mean, as far as being successful, I mean, maybe your goal is to not like, you know, is to up your net worth or your monetary value, or, you know, how much you're making each year. But for me, money we're not really talking about money. More talking about, I think improving yourself and improving you is worth more than any financial gain. And sometimes like when we do talk about self-limiting behaviors and reaching your potential, you never know, like changing these things and bettering yourself can only elevate other things in your life, right? So if you're reaching your highest potential or higher potential, your potential for earning more money might be there as well. Right? Correct? Okay. And like that's you know, like I said, what is it? High tides raise all boats. It's like how Charlie said, how do I make it through the day? I don't really know, but hold on one second. I'm just going to turn off. Sometimes this chat box works and sometimes it doesn't work all that well. I think maybe if comments kept coming, I swear I switched it off so like that they fade away, but I don't know. Who knows? So yeah, that was one of the biggest things like I wanted to talk about in terms of, you know, personification and like what you can do for yourself, like how you can present yourself and make yourself look. So right now, like a little bit of homework, if you're watching this, what you could do is write down what do you want to be? How do you want to look? When you think about yourself and you think about your best self, you think about you on your best day, where you look in the mirror and you say, damn, I look good today. What does that look like? What are you wearing? Okay. Like write that down. What does it look like? What's your hair look like? Right. and write that down. Okay. And then obviously, like, that's just like the physical, like exterior appearance, but go and then go a little deeper. Okay. Like, how do you want to act? What kind of attitude do you have? What is your outlook? How are you reacting to certain things? Like, what is your facade, right? And over that, you kind of build up, okay, like, this is what I need to do. Okay, so here's what I want to be. Okay, what am I and then write the list. What am I doing that negates me achieving that person? Okay, I need to do this as well. Let's do this right now. Okay. This is very important. Okay, so what do I want to, like, exterior? So like, let's say black jeans. I like black jeans, band tee. This is kind of how I already dress, like wearing shit like this. Nicely trimmed beard and shave, like sculpted. We'll just put sculpted. Okay. Faded haircut. Obviously cologne, like, you want to be smelling good. Okay, so that's the exterior. Exterior appearance. Rings. Like that, when I go out, that's how I feel. Like, nice shoes. Okay, there you go. Okay, now the attitude. Laid back. Suave. Is that how you spell suave? Whatever. What's another word for suave? I mean, you could say chill. Riz. That would be it if I'm fucking 14 years old. Got called Unk on a video game last night. Sick. Laid back. Yeah, like, how do you spell suave? Fuck me. Suave. That is how you spell suave. So weird. Suave. Yeah, I mean, chill, laid back, it's all the same. Like, attitude, suave, laid back. Happy. Jovial. Is that how you spell jovial? Yeah, it is how you spell jovial. Wow, look at me go. Spelling words today. Yeah, laid back, suave, happy, jovial. Okay. What else is there? Determined. Yeah, determination. Motivated, or we can put ambition. Ambitious. Okay. Always, whatever. We'll look at qualities because I want to put organized. Okay. Okay, so, like, these are the things I want to attain. What do I need to change right now? So obviously self. What? Okay. So self-care or self-care. Okay. A routine of like, okay, I see the beard is coming in a little bit. I gotta maintain that. I gotta focus on that. I gotta change that. Okay. Physical fit. Oh, obviously, like we'll go physically fit. Physically fit, muscular. Okay. What needs to change? Gym routine. Okay. Consistent weight loss. All right. So that needs to change. That needs to happen. Okay. And then let's get in. So that's like to like look good, buy better clothes. And if you can't, like whatever, like it is what it is, like that you don't need to like buy super expensive clothing. There's affordable versions of clothes. You don't need designer or anything like that. Buy clothes that fit better and complement my style. Okay. So now we get into kind of like mental health. So what am I going to do? Like laid back. Okay. So in order to be laid back, be accepting and understanding of myself and others. If you do this, you're not gonna. And the problem is like, and Charlie has said this about me as well. I care a little too much about things, and like that's something I need to kind of work on. So I'll write that as well. It's not care less. It's just so it's not care less, but apply less focus on things that don't actually matter. I like, for example, like someone talked shit to me in a video game last night, and I kept thinking about it after. It doesn't, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter at all. Why am I worried about that? Why am I focused on that? I sometimes focus on the minute details. Don't need to do that. Okay, suave. Okay, so look good, feel good. Look good, feel good. What's another, like, I guess when you're being suave, you feel better about your suave. Being comfortable with yourself. Being comfortable with yourself. Believe in yourself. Confidence. Confidence is obviously key. I mean, you can't be really Mr. Suave and like all that if you're not confident. If you're just kind of hiding back, right? You need to be very confident, very like exude what you want to be. So, okay, happy, jovial. I don't know. Don't hang out with stupid people. There's a lot of things that could be done there. Meditation, therapy, self-reflection, as we talked about. You could also do that by like not focusing on things that don't necessarily matter. And just by being accepting and understanding. Like I said, change would kind of affect me deeply. So something I need to work on as well. Ambitious, just being organized. If you're organized, you can have it. Like, try being ambitious with when you're disorganized, right? Get organized, determine goals, and act to achieve them. That kind of is encapsulated in itself together. Fun, fun, fun. This has been so mental healthy. I love it. Okay. Really happy about this stream. Oh man. So seeing as like we're talking about this, one thing that came up when I was looking at self-limiting behavior is Healthline and 10 defense mechanisms, what they are and how they help us cope. So defense mechanisms refer to psychological strategies or behaviors that people may use to cope with difficult feelings, thoughts, or events. Okay, the idea of defense mechanisms comes from psychoanalytic theory, a psychological perspective of personality that sees personality as the interaction between three components: the id, ego, and superego. These psychological strategies may help people put distance between themselves and threats or unwanted feelings such as guilt or shame. First proposed by Sigmund Freud, this theory has evolved over time and contends that behaviors like defense mechanisms are not under a person's conscious control. In fact, most people do them without realizing it. I mean, this is true. I'm of a firm belief that, and this kind of falls under, I understand that some of these things can be developed over time, or like through trauma, and like there are people that are doing them and they don't understand that they're doing them. I would say there's a good proportion of people who, if they take stock of their life, they do that self-reflection, they are going to acknowledge and see what they are doing. Sometimes you need help with this. Professional help is always available. Please reach out to a therapist if you can, counselor. Sometimes there are free avenues. Hopefully, even talk. One of the best therapists, wasn't a therapist. One of the best things that ever happened to me when I was going through a tough time, I had gone to see a therapist. I had gone to see like a counselor as well. And this was the best thing. My family doctor, just a doctor in general. I think she wasn't even like my family doctor. She was a doctor. She gave me like some of the best advice ever. Which I can share with you right now. I was just going through like a breakup. I was going through a very like tumultuous time with that. And she said that breakups are generally tough because you're grieving, but that person is still alive. You're going through the same process as grieving, but that person is still alive and living their life. So it's kind of confusing to the mind and the body, and it can be a very tormenting time. And that was very good information. As well as someone once said to me, confused people confuse people. So confused people make very like irrational decisions. And generally, like if you're dealing with someone who is confused or uncertain about certain things, their actions are going to be very confusing as well. So you should distance yourself from people like that, and not allow their decisions to affect you, because you need to remember where their actions are coming from and how they're not going to make sense. This happens a lot in dating. Okay, so that's like good dating advice, but some of the best advice from just a doctor. So if you can't afford therapy, just talk to your doctor, talk to a doctor. And they're generally pretty smart people who have dealt with certain things in their profession. So lay it on them and see what happens. So sometimes that defense mechanisms are getting in the way of your everyday life and mental health may include feeling sad or depressed, having difficulty getting out of bed, avoiding usual daily activities, things or people that once made you happy, having difficulty forming or maintaining healthy relationships, communication problems that hinder your professional or personal life. Here are the top 10 most common defense mechanisms. Dozens of different defense mechanisms have been identified. Some are used more commonly than others. Here are a few common defense mechanisms. Denial. So we've already been talking about that today. Denial is one of the most common defense mechanisms. It occurs when you refuse to accept reality or facts. People in denial may block external events or circumstances from the mind so that they don't have to deal with emotional impact. This like a good example of this is if like there's something you know that is a problem and you just keep putting it off, you keep bearing it down. You're denying that it's a problem. You're not facing it. You're like, I think it'll get better. You push it down, you push it down, you push it down. And you're never actually truly dealing with it. This is a big deal. Do not put things like this off. They will just become worse and worse over time. And not to mention, the longer you put them off, the more ingrained in your life these things become, because they're not going away without you dealing with it, generally. This defense mechanism is one of the most widely known too. The phrase "they're in denial" is commonly understood to mean a person is avoiding reality despite what may be obvious to people around them. Number 2 is repression. Unsavory thoughts, painful memories, or irrational beliefs can upset you. Instead of facing those thoughts, people may unconsciously choose to hide them in hopes of forgetting them entirely. So depression and repression, hand in hand, okay? Just pushing it down, ignoring the problem, hoping it'll go away. In my own personal opinion, again, I'm not a professional by any means, but I've done some things I like to think I could help, and this is what I'm attempting to do with this channel. Throughout my life, there have been countless things, like even to this day, that I put off, I avoid, and I can undoubtedly tell you, putting it off is only going to make it worse. Focusing on it now, as painful as it is the only way through it sometimes. And just know, like, you're not alone. People are going through this. Countless people are dealing with things like this. Depending on obviously the scenarios and situations are different, but the emotions and like the pain and the hurt that's going on there, a lot of people are dealing with that. Projection. Some thoughts or feelings you have about another person may make you uncomfortable. When people project those feelings, they misattribute them to the other person. For example, you may dislike your new coworker, but instead of accepting that, you choose to tell yourself that they dislike you. You start to interpret their words and actions towards you in the worst way possible, even though they don't actually dislike you. So a lot of this coming back to the two previous ones, and to just what we've been talking about as well. This is kind of also denial. Like, you're just not accepting that you don't like this person. It's okay to not like people. Okay. One of my college professors, one of the best things he told me was that, this is when I was on the radio in college, and someone complained about me. He said, if you're not making 30% happy, you're not pleasing the other 70%. So not everyone's going to like you. And like that goes without saying. So well, not everyone's going to like you, but if you don't like everyone, it's not like a big deal either, right? Not everyone's going to like you. You're not going to like everyone. There's 8 billion people in the world. It'd be weird if you liked all of them. Number 4, displacement. You direct strong emotions and frustrations toward a person or object that doesn't feel threatening. This allows you to satisfy an impulse to react, but you don't risk significant consequences. A good example of this defense mechanism is getting angry at your child or spouse because you had a bad day at work. Neither of these okay. Right. You direct strong emotion, frustration toward an object that doesn't feel threatening. Right. You had a bad day at work. Neither of these people is the target of your strong emotions, but your subconscious may believe reacting. So I'm bad for this, terrible for this. I'll be having a frustrating day, and then my dog will do something frustrating or whatever. And like, I'm not like, I've gotten severely better at this, where I would get like really mad and like, I'd be like yelling at him like bad or whatever. And it was just me like not identifying that I was just frustrated at like everything but him. And like what he did was very, minuscule in comparison. So, like that's a huge one, right? Don't displace these feelings. the best way that I could recommend that you like folk that you don't end up taking this out, and this is a big problem for everybody, right? So like if you're in a 9 to 5, you typically have a drive home. Okay. Unless you work from home. The best way I can say this is like whether you're in school, whether you're working a job or whatever, say you had a bad day. The best way in order to handle this is like maybe on that drive home, put on some calming music, put on or no music at all. And like don't I mean, or you know what? I'm all for it. I love metal. Go play like some Set to Destroy or like something like that. Go play like Parkway Drive, whatever you need. And just get that emotion out, but do like some really good breathing, some breath work, and focus on that. Like while you're having a bad day, like breathe through it and release like that tension in another way. Scream in your car if you have to, right? Like that's also good. Um, think you're in a movie and like you're like you're in Log Lake and you're driving and you're screaming or whatever. Um, but taking that second, right? Like taking that time to not just carry the stress with you, but get it out like in a healthy way before you're interacting with people. Take that time to yourself. Like that's what's really important. That's why I say on your drive home or something like that, or maybe you get home and you say your partner or someone, or I know it's a little bit tough if you're a parent with a child, but trying to take like maybe, a half an hour, 30 minutes, half an hour to an hour, and just take that time for yourself to kind of unwind and just chill out. Breath work is very important for that. Absolutely. And then perspective as well. So what helped me with like Chip and like not getting, super frustrated when I'm having a bad day with him is just being patient, like being obviously more patient with him. Like I knew I had to, but I also like had to face the fact that I was mad at something else, and just that acknowledgement that he doesn't deserve that. And I felt like breathing really helped me get through that. Just like that deep breath and just saying, oh, wait, like you're not the problem. Actually, what my one therapist used to say is like, get in the shower. You can't do anything bad when you're in the shower. Like you're just in the shower. So take a nice shower. I mean, that works, right? Get in the shower. That's what she said. And I know, and I've done that like a couple of times. If you're just like, you feel you're just because like it just kind of stops everything. Okay. So displacement was number 4. Number 5, regression. Some people who feel threatened or anxious may unconsciously escape to an earlier stage of development. This type of defense mechanism may be most obvious in young children. If they experience trauma or loss, they may suddenly act as if they're younger again. They may even begin wetting a bed or sucking their thumb as a form of regression. Adults can regress too. Adults who are struggling to cope with events or behaviors may return to sleeping with a cherished stuffed animal, overeat foods they find comforting, or begin chain smoking or chewing on pencils or pens. They may also avoid everyday activities because they feel overwhelmed. I think this is a huge one in our society as well. Um, uh, Obviously, like in adolescence, like that is definitely it's very like that could happen. It's like I mean, there's nicotine addiction. A lot of people are coping with nicotine these days. Let's face it. You're looking at one right now. Luckily, I've been nicotine free as of today. I think it's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I feel great. I don't even think about it anymore. It's a great decision. I have noted I am still going to smoke, a cigar every now and again in the summertime. And if I feel like it's becoming habit forming, I'm going to walk it back because I don't want to be smoking all the time. That's a tough one. I personally like haven't dealt with that. I guess like I've like overeating food to a degree. I've never really ate my emotions, so to speak. As some people have stated that happens. So I've never done that. I'm happy to report. So as far as tips and tricks on that one, I don't really have much help I can give. Rationalization. Some people may, this is number 6, rationalization. Some people may attempt to explain undesirable behaviors with their own set of facts. This allows you to feel comfortable with your choice you made, even if on another level it's not right. For example, someone who didn't get a promotion at work, they might say they didn't want the promotion anyways. I'm bad for this. And this is kind of why I said I didn't really want people who are with limited thinking, limited beliefs, so to speak. And I wanted to kind of cut out people who make excuses as well, right? Because there's a lot of rationalizing, especially like me. My biggest thing is I'll always go, I don't care, even though like I truly care. And like it's almost like it's like, who are you convincing? Who are you convincing? Yourself? And that's typically like how it will go. Is I'm just convincing myself, oh, I don't care. I don't care. It's like, yeah, you do. You just don't want to admit it. It's okay that you care. So how have I been trying to work on that? I've been trying to work on that by just being honest, just in the moment. And that's why I say about cutting out excuses. Don't make an excuse. Like that's what the rationalization is, right? You're just making an excuse about like, oh, like, well, I didn't do this because I did like that and that, and you're rationalizing your decision and why you didn't do something, or why you're not going to do something, or why you feel a certain way, and you're just making excuses, right? And it's very easy to like note and pick up when you're making excuses, because you feel like you're grasping at straws, because you're just kind of like, well, like this and that, and like it's like, okay, like cut the shit. You didn't do it. You didn't. And it's tough. Those are one of the toughest things, right? Because like you don't want to feel like you did something. You don't want to feel like you did wrong or you neglected something. And it's easier to make excuses than to just say, you know what? Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's all good, man. You know what? You got to start somewhere. So, yeah, I completely, I appreciate, it's great when people like yourself like pop in and, they say, hey, you know what? This guy deserves a little bit more. I've tried to make it a good environment. Okay. The dog should be there, but he's on the floor. Okay. He doesn't want to sleep on his bed. Wouldn't that be cool? As I'm talking about this. Okay, so we just did number 6, rationalization. Sublimation. This type of defense mechanism is considered a mature, positive strategy. That's because people who rely on it choose to redirect strong emotions or feelings into an object or activity that is appropriate and safe. For example, instead of lashing out at your coworkers during a stressful shift, you choose to channel your frustration into kickboxing class. You could also funnel or redirect the feelings into music, art, or sports. So, I mean, is that like necessarily a negative? It's a defense mechanism. I don't think like, I mean, yeah, okay, you could consider that. I mean, okay, yes, you should process your emotions and you should be aware of them. I don't know. What a good boy. See, he heard me complaining about it, the bed, so he's there now. I don't think it's necessarily a negative thing, especially if you're channeling those emotions into productive things or creative things. Like even kickboxing, music, art, or sports. Like I think that's very fundamental. I think you should also be processing those emotions like healthily, where you are consciously thinking about them. You're not just like channeling. I'll give you my example of how it kind of blew up in my face. Okay. So throughout my life, like dating and like breakups have always been super duper hard. And like most men, and it's even been memed at this point where you use it as fuel to go to the gym and make yourself better. I was kick ass at that. Okay. Sure enough, when Matt would get broken up with, I would go to the gym and get jacked, because it'd become my whole being. And the thoughts in my head when I was going to the gym, they were so negative and self-deprecating. I wasn't good enough. I'm going to prove you wrong. Watch me, and I'm going to shit all over you. Fuck you. Like I'm better. Right. And you probably think to yourself, oh, like this is like, you're right. Like, like that sounds super confident. You sound good. It's like, okay, yeah, sure. It helped me like, and it made me very successful in the gym. Here's the kicker. Okay. I was working out to prove everyone wrong and to like make people regret breaking up with me or their decisions or what have you. It was always Matt wasn't good enough. It was never I'm working out for Matt. I'm working out for me to be better. It was always I wasn't good enough. I need to be better. And like to a degree, like, you know, it was self-reflection. Yes. Like, should I have been getting physically fit? Absolutely. Did I need to be a bit better? Yes. But the all of that energy was not coming from a good place. So when I went to therapy, it kicked me like fucking like a horse in the fucking mouth, man. Okay? Because it was a harsh reality to learn that I wasn't working out for me. I actually didn't care about me. It was that I wasn't good enough and I needed to change. So and people will say that. I've seen people comment online and say that motivation, you know, the breakup motivation will keep you in the gym for only so long. And then like that fuel, that hatred will kind of run out, right? So you have to do it for yourself as well. But it got to the point where that realization, like I remember I would get on my spin bike and I would get going and I would be so upset. Like this like sadness would just like erupt in me because my entire determination for working out was always based on like like in the background it was based on like self-hatred in a way, and it made me so sad. Like there was like this sadness like built up because I was really just suppressing and pushing all this like sadness down and just using it for fuel of my workout and just hating on myself. So I can understand like what they're saying about sublimation because you're pushing that down, right? So it's better. So what I obviously did, like I had to face those emotions when they came at me head on, and it was a lot more painful facing them years later than at the time. Than to say, hey, you know what? I want to better myself. I want to get better. I should go work out. Okay, this has been a very tough time in my life. I want to focus on this. And don't get me wrong, when you're doing like creative things and like the arts, this this can be good a little bit, like, you know, bringing that emotion, right? Because like that's important. But just don't push that down. Like that's kind of what sublimation would more be, is if you're channeling those things, you can channel the emotions into those things and like get them out that way. But don't push the emotions down um through those certain hobbies or things you're doing. Okay. Number 8, reaction formation. People who use this defense mechanism recognize how they feel, but they choose to have in the opposite manner of their instincts. A person who reacts this way, for example, may feel they should not express negative emotions, such as anger or frustration. They choose to instead react in an overly positive way. So again, just not you're really just lying to yourself, right? And we're kind of like denial is always a part of this, of like some of these things, right? You're just denying it and you're channeling it into something else. You know, so denial is a gigantic factor when it comes to a lot of these defense mechanisms. Yes, as someone who was an angry child, you should trust me. I was not neglected. I was made to feel very alienated for my and I am a very angry person. So I've been made to feel like, you know, ostracized and alienated for my anger and my frustration and my reactions or such, which is honestly fair. It was something I needed to work on. It's something I still work on to this day. And not getting so mad and kind of having a blow up. Like someone will say something and I'll just like, you know, just like go. And that's never good. I've never really switched it to like where I'm negating it and reacting in an overly positive way. But the one thing that is most crucial is like is to truly like feel what you're feeling, right? Allow those emotions to run through you and don't be ashamed of them. Okay? How you feel is how you feel, and nothing can change that. Okay? How you feel is how you feel. How someone else feels is how they feel. You don't need to control them. You don't need to change them. You don't need to like suppress or control that. You just like let it out. Obviously, there's a time and a place for everything. But you should never feel ashamed about how you're feeling, because you like how you feel is just that. It's black and white. It's just how you feel. Just feel it. Number 9, we're getting towards the bottom. Compartmentalization. Separating your life into independent sectors may feel like a way to protect many elements of it. For example, when you choose not to discuss personal life issues at work, you block off or compartmentalize that element of your life. This allows you to carry on without facing the anxieties or challenges while you're in that setting or mindset. Yeah, I mean, compartmentalizing can be a very useful tool nonetheless, depending on what certain situation, because there are certain situations where you do have to compartmentalize depending on what your profession is. Compartmentalization might be a very big part of it. So I'm not going to say like this is a terrible thing. At the end of the day, the thing that it matters most is that you are acknowledging the emotions you're feeling. You're acknowledging what you're like these certain things, and you're processing them. If you're compartmentalizing, you're just stowing it away. It's not getting dealt with, and you're going to carry that. Whether it comes back to bite you or not, who knows? But it's definitely something like, again, you need to do this self-reflection. Self-reflection is gigantic. Okay. You just take the time, whether, even if you're not doing it every day, do it every other day. You know, it only takes about like 10, you could do 10 minutes, 30 minutes would probably be more ideal, an hour if you can, whatever. Okay. We're on our phones so much, and we're watching like streaming services. Trust me, you could find a half hour for a little self-reflection and a little, deep breathing, some breath work to just, power through, get through the emotions you've been feeling and process them. Again, a lot of this can be done subconsciously. So that's why, doing breath work, meditation is also good. In order for a little bit of self-realization, do it in the shower. That's great too. The body's the frontal, what is it? Your frontal cortex? I can't remember. But you are most relaxed. That's why, like, when people are like, yo, I had like an amazing shower thought, that's because your prefrontal cortex is actually super relaxed and allows like thoughts to flow more freely without like focusing on like tons of other bullshit that you need to be doing. So that's why people are like have aha moments in the shower. So so like just do it in the shower. Self-reflection. It's your time. No one else is in there, most likely. So, very important. Number 10, intellectualization. When you're hit with a trying situation, you may choose to remove all emotion from your response and instead focus on quantitative facts. You may see this strategy in the use of when a person spends their days creating spreadsheets of job opportunities and leads after they are let go from a job. Yeah, again, it's just denial of what truly happened. You're putting it off in order to again, so you're putting off emotion. All these points lead to the same road, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. You need to do self-reflection and process these emotions healthily, or they're going to come back and bite you in the ass. You are carrying so much stress that you do not know, and you deserve to be free of it. Okay? All you need to do is take some deep breaths, take a minute of pause, understand what you're going through, and process it in a healthy manner, whether it's breathing, crying is very healthy. A lot of men are ashamed to cry and everything, which, especially in like this alpha male society where everyone is giving these motivational speeches and You're not a man and blah, blah, blah. My day's divided. I have 3 days and 1 day or whatever the fuck dumbasses are saying on the internet these days. Okay. Contrary to popular belief, very healthy and very important to do. And that's all part of processing your emotions. And that's why taking the time to have that privacy where I say, like, whether it's in the shower, whether it's 30 minutes like in your room or a space by yourself, it is 100%. It is just as important as going to the gym, as eating food, drinking water. It is so important to take this time for your mental health. Okay? Well, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and this is my one, like, very small rant to end the day that I will tell you about. My experience at Service Ontario. If you don't know what Service Ontario is, it's kind of, I don't know what the equivalent would be in the States. Let's just call it the DMV. It's where you go to, like, renew your ownership of your vehicle. You get your new health card or your license or what. I don't know if do you have health cards in the States? Let me know. Anyway, I had to go there to get new ownership for my car. I just moved to a city from Toronto, which is the biggest city in Canada. I love Toronto. I've been loving not being in Toronto so far, but this was like a bit of a blowout thing. So I'm in this Service Ontario, and in this small town that's down the road from me, a little bit outside of where I live. I was so desperate to go back to Toronto in that moment and go back to a Service Ontario full of immigrants, man. Seriously, like, give me a Service Ontario full of Filipinos, Asians, and Indians. Okay. I felt safer in there and more at home, like more in place or more like right than what I was dealing with there. It was just these bottom of the barrel fucking white people who, and I get, and this is what I love, is that all of these people were not showering, very country folk. And they would get up to the thing. They were so like unintelligent. Like they weren't prepared. Like I had all my things like prepared. Like me, it took me 5 seconds. Literally just the longest part of my transaction was them printing me a new ownership for my vehicle with a change of address. So they're slow, like printer. Okay. All of these people, dude, that hurt my lips kind of like to make that sound. Anyway, dude. And you know what I love about this is like these are the same people that like hate immigrants. Okay. And they're coming to take our jobs. Like, they're super conservative people. And like I crash out. I called Charlie, actually, as a matter of fact. Still understanding. He's very liberal like myself. These are the same people that are screaming like they're coming to take our jobs and like fucking I hate all the Indian people and like screw them and all this. And it's like, you, my dear friend, like this crazy like white superiority or whatever, or like, this is my Canada, get out of here. It's like, you look like you have a genetic flaw. Okay? I wouldn't hire you. Okay? Yet you're here bitching about these fucking about immigrants. Okay? And you look like you put bacon grease in your hair this morning. What are we talking about? Okay. And it just made it honestly, it made me so uncomfortable. And it was so weird. Like there actually was this Sikh man who was there, and he went to the counter and he had to do whatever he had to do. I don't know, like whatever, renewing something or whatever. All right. And then this white trash piece of shit gets up there, and the Sikh man had to come back, And he just to ask like a quick question, and like this fucking guy who I don't even know how this is physically possible was like very skinny yet had 5 chins. Okay, what's good? Like he sees this man coming back and he's like, "Hey, you had your turn." And I swear to God, man, it was like watching racism, and I swear it was only because this man was Sikh that like he like it was like this fucking weird prejudice, like, you know, this like Indian, like, you know, they just associate everyone with India, but like Indian hate, it's just like, it's honestly, y'all disgust. It's just crazy, man. It's just give me back my Service Ontario with all these fucking, like all the immigrants, like I love them, you know, all these fucking greasy, gross, fucking small town white people. Freak me the fuck out. You're weird. Okay. I crashed out a lot harder the other day. I was losing my fucking mind. And then this guy got up there and he was talking, this one guy, this black guy got up there and like he was talking in like a Toronto man accent. And I was like, man, like if I, like, do Jamaicans, like Jamaicans must be fucking pretty mad at the Toronto man accent, right? Are you not? Like it feels like these people like trying to cosplay being Jamaican when they're not. I don't know. It's so weird. It's like that's not how you talk. I'm so like some people actually talk like that and they're from Jamaica. You know what I mean? It's just like you're like, I don't know. As we talk about personification, it's like, why would you want to personify yourself as this version of you? I don't know. It's just weird. Because it's like trying to sound like it's just weird to me, man. It's trying to be like thug, but at the I don't know. It's like I don't think like what you're trying to exude by it is like trying to come through. Hey, shorty, you know, like I'm just here to renew like my car license. Like, all right, man. It's like it's like weird because like, no, what am I talking about, Jamaicans? It's not even like that. It's because like some like there's like Jamaican slang like woven into it to a degree. But they actually fucking like that's their slang, man, and you're like stealing it to talk like this. I don't know. I don't understand what's going on. Anyway. It's just like, come on, man. What are you doing? What's going on at the fucking Service Ontario, bro? In small towns. My biggest like gripe, the biggest thing that made me mad, like whatever, Toronto man accent, talk like that, whatever, you know, just degrade yourself, and because you can tell it's fake when people don't actually talk, like you can tell that it's fake, and it's like, whoa, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Yeah. I was more mad because like I just know every motherfucker in there has complained about like immigrants in in Canada and like them taking our jobs, and I'm like, y'all just need to look in a mirror. Just know why you ain't getting a job. It's like crazy, bro. See, denialism. All right. I thought that would be a funner note to end on. It was kind of depressing. Whatever, it is what it is. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna call it here. Thank you so much for watching. If you tuned in like this whole time. If not, it's been a slice. And I appreciate each and every one of you. GVAT 0123. Thank you so much for commenting. Okay, let's dance. Thank you so much. And GVAT, also thank you for the follow, brother. Sister. Whatever you identify as. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll hit you guys on the next one. Oh, I didn't put my new intro in. It is what it is, Okay. Peace.